Controlled Chaos here. I am happy to announce that I got the owner of the Purgatory City of Heroes private servers with me. Her name is Purr. How are you doing today, Purr?
I'm doing great, Chaos. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. And I'm telling you right now, from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are liking the Purgatory and checking it out from what I understand and what I've heard. And I think that is a great thing from the last video. I want to start going ahead and getting into some questions though. First off, when did you first get into City of Heroes?
Well, I first played on live. I was one of the live players. I used to play on Virtue years and years ago, as everybody knows, years and years ago. But I got my start there, and then when it came back, I, like everybody, flocked to Homecoming and just fell in love all over with the game. So
Trust me, I did the exact same thing. I mean, I played from the very beginning, was upset when the servers shut down. When it came back, I flocked to it, and I've been having trouble sleeping since.
I was so upset when the live servers went down. I couldn't be there. I had to stop playing prior to shutdown.
Yeah.
I just could not do it.
Luckily, I had work that I had to do, so I couldn't actually be there when they shut down. I want to move on to my next question, and that is, what made you want to create your own City Heroes private server?
Well, that's a great story. And the part of that is I love all aspects of this game, and I used to try to find all the exploits. So on live, I actually at one time had the developer granted title wannabe dev. So I started my server accidentally, kind of, because I wanted to learn how to put badges in the game. So it kind of evolved from there and became not just putting it in there, but creating a place for me and my friends to hang out, that our City of Heroes characters would never get taken away from us again, whether it be from NCSoft or just leaving servers and things like that. And then they started asking for me to open up and, hey, can this friend come? Can that friend come? So here we are.
Okay, excellent. So it start off with you wanting to explore, mess with things, because that's one thing I noticed when I was doing my announcement video for your servers, that you actually have that badge that you put in place in Khaleesi's Wharf. Are you planning on adding in more badges to places like Khaleesi's Wharfs?
I am planning on adding more badges, more not just location badges, explorers, but as well as my own defeats, accolades. Pretty much, yeah, I'm going to be adding more to it.
Okay, and is there a specific direction you're wanting to take your private server now that it's sort of gone public in a direction? Sort of like Thunder Spy is all about, they want to do quick updates, so they're working on doing back-end stuff. They want players to be able to name their characters whatever, even if it's copyrighted. Rebirth wants to do things the way the original devs were intending, directions that the devs would want it to go if they were still working on it. And other servers like that. Does your server have a specific direction and goal in mind?
I guess the weirdest way to put it would be, my server is there to bring that super feeling back to being a superhero, because I don't play this game to be a hero. I play this game to be a superhero.
With that being said, that brings to my next question. What are your plans to bring that superhero feel into this hero game?
A lot of it has to do with, I guess would be, say, community improvements. And I do take a lot of community suggested improvements in when I'm making changes and things like that. Very big for the community.
So it's mainly community feedback on what they're predominantly interested in.
To an extent, yes, as long as it keeps with the balance, because in trying to make people feel more super, it's a lot harder to balance. And a lot of people don't understand that, yeah, for every one positive you give something, you have to give it something to balance it out or you wind up with things that just, I win every time you hit a button.
So basically, you don't want everyone running around like a Superman. You want them more running around like maybe a Green Lantern type character. Someone that's not all powerful but has some weakness to them and can be taken down, not in just one way.
That would be a good way to put it. Though I think I'd probably pick different comic book characters. I can't pick them off the top of my head, but yeah, along those
Okay.
lines.
Marvel fan. Marvel fan. So my next question that I have for you is, with just having the server up, it's only been up for 2 weeks. What is the first thing you're working on to add to the server that will make the server different?
Oh, so the first thing that I'm going to be that I'm working on is, so I'll give this reveal. I'm making all of the enhancements in the game currently go from 10 to 50. No more having to figure out, yeah, no more having to figure out, is that a level 30 recipe? Did that end at 20? Does that start at 35? Because to me, that's one of the most annoying thing about the enhancement system, is trying to remember which ones, where, how, why, especially on anything that's got a slider like tickets.
With you doing that, are you going to be going single origins? Are you going to be keeping them generics? Are you going to be keeping duels? How would that work out?
Those I'm more referring to the invention enhancements that are created. Those have different set levels for each recipe. Some of them Some of them literally just go from 10 to 20. Some of them go from 10 to 50. Some go from 20 to 40. There's no real rhyme or reason to the ranges on them anymore.
Okay, so it's for the crafted enhancements that you're going to be changing that, not the ones that are just naturally found in game as loot.
Correct.
Okay, that's a way better explanation. I appreciate that. I noticed that you have a new archetype in there, the Nephilim. And I've played around on the Nephilim, and that does have that very superhero more feeling to it. Do you have any other future plans for different archetypes that don't just have one power set choice, but multiple power set choices?
There are actually additional power set choices for the Nephilim, primaries and secondaries. They are just not complete yet.
Okay, so the Nephilim is a work in progress then?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that is cool. So if you guys really want to check out what this archetype is like, and I can tell you right now, it's really interesting and different looking and feels nice, I would definitely check out the Purgatory server. Now, with talking about your server, what was the reason for you wanting to do the double XP for everything?
So that people can level fast. I want people here, I want them playing, but I know most people are already established on Homecoming or any one of the other servers. And the last thing anybody wants to do is da 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 da. I gotta do it all again. Yeah, this is fun. Hey, look, I'm hitting that Malta again. I don't want people to have that. So I know everybody wants to get there. They want to get to 50 so they can go back. They can do what they want to do, but they want to get to 50. They don't just want, boop, here's the 50 fairy.
Yeah, and I noticed that you do give them 150. I guess that's another way for you to say, hey, we're making it easier for you to play with the higher levels on our server. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. So you can jump in, you can start doing whatever. You can take that person, you can take your person, make it a farmer. We're very farm friendly on Purgatory. I don't nerf the AE, so the double XP that you get in the world, you get double XP on the standard rewards and AE as well.
Okay, nice. That's gonna be really helpful for players to move over to your server, because that's the most common response I get to people. Why aren't you playing on this? Or, well, I don't want to start from the beginning and go through the grind. At least with your server, there's not that grind, and so that's a nice way of changing things up. And so with that being said, I want to touch on a few bugs and get your thoughts on some issues that are on most of the servers.
Okay.
First off, the spawn rates of mobs and the amount of mobs that they put in the area. Sort of like when you get that first mission from Twin Shot, and you have that area with all those schools. A lot of the servers, except for maybe Homecoming, just have that area packed with schools, and the respawn rate is really, really fast. Are you guys planning on doing any changes to the amount that spawns in areas and the respawn rates?
There might be some. It's not something that I've looked into at this time, so there might be something in the future. But right now, we haven't currently been thinking about doing that. No, I guess I'm not sure if I should say sadly or happily. The population on Purgatory still isn't enough to have to worry about anything along those lines to be able to get it to spawn faster, because nobody's making any complaints about things like that.
Well, not spawning faster, spawning slower. Because when I was originally playing and leveling up a character, they were already great to me, but in that area where all those skulls are near that building that I was telling you about, where they're carrying the packages, they were spawning really rapidly, and they were like almost packed in. The groups were packed in right next to each other. And so if those would have been like whites and yellows to me, I would have probably been overran.
And that may very well be why those areas are like that. But this time I haven't looked into any of that, so that's not something I can really give a definitive answer or comment on.
Okay. But based on feedback, you'll adjust things, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Next question I have is, I know that I'm a big Mastermind fan, and a lot of my listeners like the Masterminds. And I've mentioned this to you before, but I would just sort of like to get this on record. The Mastermind bug that was introduced in Going Rogue, where ranged pets would focus on melee attacks instead of ranged, and melee pets would focus on ranged instead of melee. I know Homecoming has done a fix to that, and Thunder Spy has done a somewhat fix to that. Are you planning on doing any fixes to the Masterminds on your server for that bug issue that was introduced?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a specific direction you're taking that? Or is it just something you want to fix?
Well, something that we're going to fix, but Masterminds, we already have plans for them. A lot of the things that I say are plans due to the fact we have one programmer. So my Masterminds, we're planning on revamping the class a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different here on Purgatory. One of the first things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing that happy little equip your people and the second little equip your people, because that's a frustrating thing. That is so much micromanaging to get a Mastermind really, really well. You have to spend a lot of time just clicking on those pets. We're going to be getting rid of those too. We're going to be adding in a couple of attacks. We're going to be leveling them out. Those that don't have we'll call it like a gang war type effect or the demonic horde, they're going to get something that gives something along those lines, whether it be some sort of themed gang war or if it's just something that's got a big like nuke or something along those lines. We're going to buff them up a little bit. And the pets, what they're going to do is, rather than here, have your equip bonus and get these extra powers and have your other equip bonus and get those powers, is going to be, they're going to have all of the powers, but at different levels, just like you get different powers at different levels. So do your henchmen.
Okay, that's going to be really interesting. I'm now just immediately thinking of my drone rigger character who uses robotics, just doing a gang war type of thing, and just seeing a bunch of battle drones come running out to the field to fight everything. Make them feel so powerful.
Yeah, not necessarily that. It'll probably be something, smaller robotics that just like, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it could be a variety of different things, but just the idea of having something like gang war or, the horde of demons, would be interesting. So with that being said, I understand you own your own servers, so you don't ask for donations. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what made you decide to go the route of buying the servers instead of renting them out?
Have you seen the price of renting them out?
I have not looked.
It can get quite expensive. A lot of them either aren't offering the storage, aren't offering the processing, and by the time you get into all of everything that's perfect for COH, it's somewhere around $3,000-$4,000 a month. If you're going just the base that'll run it like something that would have even, less specs than my test server that we run on, that you're still looking at $500-$600 a month. So when you do the math out, it's just much more economical to purchase the equipment outright.
Well, then you have control when you upgrade the hardware and stuff like that.
Correct.
You don't have to rely on anyone else. Now, you did mention earlier on that there's just one programmer, and I know that you're the one programmer. So with that being said, I gotta say, that's a lot of work for one person. If you're given the opportunity to have other types of other developers working with you, what's the first types of developers you look for? Are you wanting more programmers to help you out? Are you looking for 3D modelers first, animators? What?
I am looking for anybody that has the desire to learn something new, that has something to share. That's one of the things that we're real big on here. Is some of our people might not, some of our GMs and some of our developers might not have programming, but what they have is a desire to learn. Yeah, so I would like to work with people that have something they want to learn some of the things that I can do, but they also in exchange have something that I can learn from, and they're good with people. So there's, a multitude of things.
Okay, well, you heard straight from Purr. If you're interested in doing development, you're wanting to learn, you have that passion for learning, and you want to work well with others and be a good communicator and stuff like that, reach out to Purr on, her Discord and stuff like that. I'd love to see your development team grow. I'd love to see what you could do if you had more programmers, some 3D modelers, and some animators on your team, and what creative ideas you guys would come up with. That would be really, really cool. So that's about all the questions I have. I want to thank you for your time. And before we go, do you have anything you want to say to the listeners?
I can't wait to see you all.
Okay, that works out great. I want to thank you all for listening in. The description, in the description down below, is a link to the Purgatory server. Definitely check it out. With that double XP and getting that 1 level 50, it makes it easy for you to carry over and try out another server. Thank you all and have a great day.